I'm going to be talking about this online Tyla controversy that has been coming up and how people have some displaced anger, but that's how life is. So let's be real. America has the highest GDP in the world. Yes, you can survive outside of the American market, but realistically, there is no African coming to the United States to work and not get that American dollar. Let's just be real. I feel like this applies to Tyla even signing to an American entertainment label. Tyla's career hasn't flopped. She's getting streams, but she is not appealing to Americans. And that doesn't mean to deny your culture. It could simply mean better PR, a club song, or even a love song that caters to the American palate. People love DeVito because you can play his music in the club and outside events. Same with Tams, who stayed true to herself, making meaningful songs and opening up for people like Beyonce, or even the Cameroonian artist Bianca, who literally made a song about mental health. And I feel like that is where Tyla often lacks. Tyla's hit song Water was cute, but we're not throwing water like that on our asses work and finding it as innovational or jaw-dropping. We're not holding trophies or inviting you to controversial platforms like the Breakfast Club just for you to dodge questions. I keep hearing people say that Tyla is confident, but what personality does she have when she's not saying what she stands for morally or culturally other than knowing she's mixed? And you cannot connect with fans. How can you sustain as a global superstar? And I keep hearing this rhetoric of it's Black girls' fault about Tyla not doing well and us hating. Tyla has had many chances to introduce herself as the quote-unquote new girl in school, but just didn't. BT has given her an award over Sexy Red, who was way more popular. Chris Brown and Charlamagne gave her a leg up with the feature and interview, and even anti-Black Kai Cenat. And she can get praise from self-hating and colorist Black men, yet still show no personality and be weird among Black female artists, essentially her colleagues. What are we supposed to get out of Tyla? And I won't say she's not talented. She might be, but I haven't saw anything worthwhile to pique my interest. I am not self-hating, nor am I worshiping ambiguous artists simply for existing. Hell, even Blasian artists like A. Marie gave us something we could work with, something we could dance to and relate to, and her voice is not strong. So saying it's because she's like mixed is just weird. Nonetheless, I'm going to play some public opinion and then conclude.
So maybe now Tyla will understand what we meant when we called her Black, because what's going on is very much so a Black problem. And no one is erasing her identity as a colored person. We understand she's South African, that's fine. But when it comes to this American market, baby, that's a Black girl. And the only people who can even understand what she's experiencing right now in the industry are the Black girls. Ari Lennox, Tinashe, Chloe, Normani. You can even say Justine Skye. The list goes on and on. I saw the writing on the wall when Tyla was doing her own hair in Barbados talking about budget issues. What do you mean budget issues? You just got a Grammy. You have the highest award in all of music. What happened to water? They cut the water off? And that right there is a classic industry tactic that they do with the Black girls. They'll let you swim that first lap around the pool in a life vest, but that second lap, no life vest, and they'll tell you they taught you how to swim. No, you carried them around the pool. They don't know how to swim. The sophomore slump is almost like orchestrated via budget every time. And the most sick part about this is her EP is fire. And I think the song with Wizkid is going to save it because that's going to go crazy as a single. But is it wrong? Push to start? Even me saying, yo, this girl and this attitude, like, trust me. But her music kind of cleaned it up for me. No shade, I have an ear. It's my business. But I'm Black. So I have the taste for Amapiano, for reggae, for international music, for Afro beats. It will always speak to me. The average white consumer, if it's not on TikTok the way that they made sure water was, they don't know what's going on here. And so what would possess you to scorn the exact same people that you know what it is? I know what it is. Tyla listened to them people behind her and not the people in front of her, us. And so even though she probably will not learn this lesson, what you're learning right now is very much a Black lesson in this market. This is how they are orchestrated to treat you. And if you understood what being Black is here, you wouldn't have pushed back. You would have learned from us. But now you can learn from you because you're sitting here with a fire project that ain't nobody heard. 3,000 copies? 3,000? Ugh.
And the fact that y'all thought that Tyla had Africa in a chokehold, where Africans was gonna go buy her stuff, and she don't even have a fan base there, is crazy. I think that y'all really let the label and the industry fool y'all. I have never heard an African say, yo, turn on that Tyla. I need that Tyla. You know what? I remember coming on the internet maybe in January, and saying the same thing. It was no disrespect. It's just I wasn't feeling her. Didn't like her attitude. I didn't like her entitlement. And I'm gonna be real, some of y'all were fooled by the little water wine she had going on until she started being blatantly anti-black in the media. So then when she started opening her mouth and going crazy, I was like, oh, the attitude nasty? We don't like that. Listen, don't let industry fool y'all. We never bought that.
I don't care about Tyla, but I will say that I fucking hate it when people in other Western countries act like Black Americans have such a special relationship with race that only applies in America. Anti-Blackness is a global problem because it is a product of colonization, a global issue. Racial categories have literally been created to separate and elevate away from the perception of Blackness. That is how race operates globally. It doesn't matter what names you give different groups. It's not American exceptionalism to recognize that the term colored in South Africa was created to distance from the perception of Blackness. Other countries want to argue about their racial categories and how Black Americans shouldn't be offended, but it's like, your racial categories are still hierarchical and they place Black people at the bottom.
Now, while I know we would all love to believe Tyla only sold 3K units because she offended Black American women, I need us to be for real. While I do think some of the low album sales has to do with her marketing. And I said this a couple years ago. Actually, the video is getting traction all over again because of this conversation, where I did say I thought that the whole I'm not Black, I'm Dominican, I'm not Black, I'm colored, I thought that was a weird hill to die on from a marketing standpoint. Like, the way South Africans are speaking about her is as though she's a regular person, right? They're in the comments like, well, she is colored, she's not mixed, if you, a regular person, wants to refer to yourself as colored, by all means, baby. Nobody's gonna care. Now, I don't know how many friends you're gonna make in the States with that, but nobody's gonna be upset. But when you are a celebrity, when you are an artist trying to break through to a wider audience, everything you do and say does matter. Why do you think people have publicists? It's called marketing. And I think it does not make sense to offend the same people you want to buy into your brand. I said the same thing about Lotto when she tried to rebrand Mulatto, because who would give her that crazy ass idea? Probably her white mama. No shade, but I'm serious. Only a white woman would think it's okay for her biracial daughter to refer to herself as something as derogatory as mulatto. But at least Lotto fixed it, right? And now we know sis is Lotto, and we love that for her. I said the same thing about a lot of the Mean Girl music, right? Y'all want the girls to buy into y'all brand and buy y'all music, but every song is about how they a broke bitch this, they a broke bitch that, they take your man. Y'all even be on these apps calling your fans out of their names. So don't just act like we're singling Tyla out. We're not. Now, again, while I do think some of this has to do with her marketing, the whole picture that I don't see y'all talking about is that the music industry is struggling, y'all. Like, these old industries are failing. Like, that was the main indicator that went off to me when I seen this. Because for somebody like Tyla, who has it, baby, when you got it, you got it. Don't be no hater. Tyla has it. So for somebody who has the it factor, has the sound, love her music, got the look, has the backing, has the marketing, has the budget to only sell that amount of units, that lets me know that this industry as a whole, something's not right. Because let's keep it a stack. Y'all also let Normani flop. Y'all let Chloe flop, and I hate even using the word flop because I honestly just think the systems and the metrics that we use like Billboard are outdated. They're not conducive in a streaming digital era. Like, the fact that as a content creator, if I get 1 million views on my video, not only am I making money from the ad revenue from that video from multiple platforms, but then there's no cap to the amount of money I can make from the potential brand deals I get from that video. But as an artist, if my song gets 1 million streams, I'm barely getting $100. The fact that as an artist, if I get 5 million streams, people are still gonna say I'm a flop because that only equates to 3K pure sales and real albums. Like, it doesn't make sense. These systems are outdated. I'm honestly waiting for the day that artists actually unionize against DSPs and we protest like artists did back in the day with LimeWire, or some new systems and metrics hit the streets, because I just think these old systems are outdated. And also, even the way we view celebrities, and again, this might go back to marketing. We live in a digital era where the masses are no longer watching the TV. Okay, when we all watch the TV, it was nothing but celebrities. So you knew when an artist dropped, you knew when they was on tour, you knew every move they made because that was their platform. And now that we're not watching the TV as much, artists have to compete with content creators. And there's more of us than it is of them. So a lot of their marketing and stuff, I also feel like just gets lost in the sauce, because I honestly didn't even know Tyla was dropping a new project. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let me know what y'all think. And if you like these type of conversations, y'all can always check me out on Real Baddie Radio every Sunday, only on TikTok.
Race is called colored, and it's a very stressful term to use in America because I know it's a derogatory term, but I mean that's what we are called.
And I get it. People do not need to like Tyla. They don't need to like her music. But I just do not like when the point that people are making, the reason that they do not like her is because she said something that was never said. Can you show me a time when she literally said, I am not black? Because this is what she posted after the Breakfast Club interview when they asked her about it and she decided not to answer it. I mean, that interview that I played in the beginning of this video was from 2023. And we have seen the Breakfast Club is not the place to have these political conversations. And when Amara de la Negro was on the Breakfast Club and she said, yes, I am a black Hispanic, they're like, what is that? Either you're black or you're Spanish. And these are the same people you expect her to have this conversation with. And I respect her for not claiming to being full black, because what I do not want to see is the erasure of actual black people. For far too long, I'm seeing people saying that she wants to be this person like that person like that person's black. And what ends up happening when we continue on claiming people who are 1% black, who are 1 drop black because of the blood, and then we get complaining about seeing these all be called black children. Because you guys continually want to call anyone that has an ounce of rhythm to them a fragment of a fraction of a millimeter, whatever, of blackness in them. You want them to claim the blackness. And then you start crying when the loose curled, green eye, this skin color is portraying black women on TV screens. Then they're not casting us. Yes, because you told Produce Hollywood that that's a black woman. And wasn't some of y'all calling former VP Harris Indian? Weren't y'all saying that she wasn't black because she's mixed? So what is it? Is it that she's mixed or is she black? Because it seems as though you guys flip and change when everyone changed the definition to what a black person is to fit your narrative. And because she never said, I am full black, now you guys want to be upset. I don't care if you guys like her or don't like her. I'm not a huge fan of Tyla. But what I'm not going to do is have people say one reason why they don't like her when that reason was never true.
Y'all, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot, okay? In no way did I say that the US is the only streams. I am saying that mainstream artists who are big in the US are almost guaranteed to be big globally because we have the biggest market for media. Like, how is this not clicking? Like, the numbers don't lie. I don't see a single South African artist. Do you? And if we're gonna be anything, let's be for real. Like, y'all are just arguing to argue at this point because the numbers don't lie. Again, like I said, like, why is America making up more than 50% of streams in South Africa? If Tyla is so great, y'all stream her. Get her in the top 10. And before y'all say, oh, but that's only for female artist streams, we still make up 50% overall streams in South Africa. Like, what is not clicking? I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
But let me just say this. Here's the problem. And it's not a Zeke problem. It's not a producer problem. It's a Tyla problem. Thank you. It's her. Let me tell you why. You came to America and you're in the Breakfast Club. The nigga, you got artists that would die to talk to Charlamagne, and you looking at your people because he asked you a question you want to answer. Man, what? It don't work like that in America, baby. You can't hide from issues if you black. And what happened was she thought, see, here's what's really happening in America right now. The Africans that are coming here to get money are realizing, nigga, you are niggas too. What's happening is white people in the music industry brought in our African cousins. Yep. Like, since y'all niggas don't want to listen, I'm going to bring in these y'all African cousins because they look alike to everybody. But they ain't got that sauce.
They don't got it.
They ain't got that
Especially
hood.
Tyla.
And I'm not saying this, but Tyla's she's also from the same place that Elon Musk is from. Right? So racism and all that shit is huge where she is, but she had a chance to speak on it.
And she did. She blew it.
And she looked at somebody else like, I don't even want to talk
I'm a little girl.
about it. I don't
hold
even
my
want to
hand.
talk about it.
She said I'm not freaking black.
Guess what? Use a nigga now. Those are nigga numbers. Here's what Tyla did wrong. And you know this, Brandon, on some industry shit. A hit is not her problem. Tyla can have water out right now. The people are not gonna fuck with it because she has made it known that I'm here just to get money. I'm here not to be one of y'all. Even though they bunching me with y'all, let me separate myself from y'all.
I'm different.
And this is what the fuck you get. And now the y'all that you don't want to be of is gonna be laughing, making jokes, all that shit. Because you didn't want to be one of us.
And I'm gonna keep it gangster too. You from South Africa. Nelson Mandela ain't dying for you to be coming here and saying you ain't black. Straight up. He ain't sitting in jail for 30 years for that shit. So I understand why you sold 3.7 and PLP, not 37, 3.7 is what Tyla sold, my dude. You can't say she's Britney Spears, and that's what irritated me.
She needs to build her world. She needs to find her fan base. She's just a song right now, but remember I said this. She is a star, and she doesn't need to have the last name to be a star.
You want to know what I find most ironic about this entire Tyla colored discourse and how Black Americans are displeased with Tyla for using a racially insensitive term within the context of American history and the Jim Crow era and racism? It's the fact that South Africans at large are really sitting up here trying to pretend like they've never been the aggressor at some point. Like they're really sitting up here trying to pretend as if at no point in time they've never been hostile and intolerant towards other Black people. Specifically when it comes to last year's Miss Universe, right? Because if I remember vividly, I remember when Chidima Adesina was trying to run for Miss Universe within South Africa and the way South African people treated Chidima and the way they rejected her and the way they started looking into her family history and blaming her for things that her mother did and basically petitioned to try and get her kicked out of Miss Universe. It's so funny that a lot of South Africans are sitting online talking about Black Americans being ignorant and intolerant and being jealous because a non-American woman has broken into the American entertainment industry and they're threatened by her. But when they were dishing that same vitriol and hatred towards Chidima Adesina, it was perfectly fine. I'm an African woman. I'm not even Black American, but I'm just sitting back laughing and I just think, you know, and I'm not saying that Tyla deserves this because of what has happened to Chidima Adesina, because she obviously doesn't. She had nothing to do with it. But I do think that it's the sweetest irony that South Africans are really trying to sit up here and rag on other people for being ignorant about their culture and their identity and being intolerant towards them when they do have a history of being intolerant towards not just other Africans, but other Black people in general. Like, come on, bro. Like, are we really going to sit up here and pretend like South Africans don't sit up there calling Nigerian people and all other Africans all these type of derogatory slurs for simply existing and migrating to their country? Don't make me fucking laugh.
I don't care how you flip it. 3,700 album sales for a mainstream artist is low. People keep saying streams matter more. We are in the digital age, but digital album sales matter too. And no one is highlighting her digital album sales really outside of the USA. So what is the plot? Comparing Normani and Chloe is weak. And we're not talking about record labels and how they present young artists alone. I bought Normani's album and her album wasn't even publicized well. She actually has a variety of music to vibe to in the car beyond 4 tracks, whether it be in the bedroom or in the car. And she has been sidelined for years. Chloe, like any other artist, is smart. She understands that a lot of people, even though she is very talented, aren't buying her music per se, but they're showing up to her tours and they're watching her act. So she has her hands in many avenues. So yes, we do support Black American artists. I just think people like to use Black women as a scapegoat instead of addressing those who actually have power. And it's fine South Africa appreciates their representation. The disconnect is obvious that alone. We have evolved beyond mixed race representation, especially when it's blatant racist and has no solid discography to the American sound palette. Hell, we even stopped supporting Ice Spice because of similar shenanigans, and she is American. Be more than a pretty face. Black women will support you even if you are mixed, but not if you want some bullshit and your fan base is disrespectful to our ancestors, like referring to outdated terms as colored, understandably is different in your demographics, but also just not reading the room and saying weird shit like, oh, y'all cotton pickers. Like, it's not gonna make somebody support y'all even more. It's just like you have no other argument than personal insults, and it doesn't change the fact that both of us were colonized. Nonetheless, what are your thoughts on this subject? Let me know down below, and thank you for listening to Books and Looks TV. I'll see y'all next time.